Imagine this. You're standing in front of a cafe, deciding whether to splurge on a fancy latte or stick with plain black coffee. Seems simple, right? But to an economist, this small, everyday choice reveals something profound about how humans interact with the world. It's not just about coffee, it's about scarcity, trade offs, and opportunity cost. Welcome to Log Finance. Today, we're diving into the fascinating way economists approach the world. By the end of this episode, you'll see the world through an economist's eyes, where every decision, big or small, is a window into the complexities of life. The story of scarcity. Let's start with the concept of scarcity, which is at the heart of economics. Resources are limited, whether it's time, money, or natural materials, but human wants are infinite. Economists view the world as a puzzle of managing these finite resources to meet infinite desires. Take the story of water in Cape Town, South Africa, during the 2018 drought. Faced with a crisis, the government had to ration water, limiting how much residents could use each day. Economists stepped in to solve the problem, advising policies like pricing water higher for heavy users. Why? To make people more conscious of their consumption and prioritize essential uses. It's a perfect example of how scarcity forces choices and how economists use incentives to guide behavior. The power of trade offs. Every choice comes with a trade off. Economists call this opportunity cost, the value of the next best alternative you give up when making a decision. Think back to our cafe scenario. If you spend $5 on a latte, you're giving up the chance to use that money elsewhere, maybe on lunch or saving for a bigger goal. On a larger scale, governments face similar trade offs. Should they invest in healthcare or infrastructure? Economists analyze these trade offs to help policymakers make decisions that maximize overall well being. A famous real world example is NASA's budget. Every dollar spent on space exploration is a dollar that could have been spent on education, defense, or healthcare. Economists help weigh these trade offs, considering not just immediate benefits, but long term opportunities and costs, markets and incentives, the invisible hand at work. Next, let's talk about markets and incentives. Economists see markets as mechanisms for allocating resources efficiently. But how does this work? Let me share a story. In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina in 2005, gasoline supplies were severely disrupted. Prices skyrocketed, sparking outrage. But economists argued that the price hike was actually a signal, a way to ration a scarce resource. Higher prices discouraged non-essential use, ensuring that gas went to those who needed it most, like emergency services. While controversial, this example highlights a key economic principle. Prices are powerful signals that guide behavior and allocate resources. Economists use these insights to design policies, whether it's carbon taxes to combat climate change or subsidies for renewable energy. The global lens, interdependence, and trade. Economists also see the world as deeply interconnected. Take the story of the smartphone in your pocket. Its components come from all over the globe: rare earth metals from China, processors from Taiwan, and assembly in Vietnam. This global supply chain shows how interdependence drives economic efficiency, but also creates vulnerabilities. Consider the recent supply chain disruptions during the COVID-19 pandemic. Economists helped governments and businesses navigate these challenges by analyzing trade offs between efficiency and resilience. Should we prioritize cheaper production or diversify supply chains to avoid future shocks? These are the kinds of questions economists tackle daily. Behavioral economics. Humans are not always rational. Now, here's a twist. Economists used to assume people are perfectly rational decision makers, but behavioral economics has shown that we're far more complicated. Take the concept of loss aversion. Studies show that people fear losing $10 more than they value gaining $10. This insight explains why people sometimes make seemingly irrational choices, like holding onto a stock that's losing value instead of cutting their losses. Economists like Richard Thaler, who won a Nobel Prize for his work, use these insights to design better policies. For example, instead of forcing people to save for retirement, nudge policies automatically enroll workers in retirement plans while giving them the option to opt out. This small change dramatically increases savings rates, proving that understanding human behavior is as important as understanding markets. The ethics of economics. Who gets what? Finally, economists grapple with questions of fairness and equity. It's not just about growing the pie, but deciding how to divide it. Take the debate over universal basic income, UBI. In countries like Finland and Kenya, experiments with UBI have provided valuable insights into how direct cash transfers can reduce poverty and improve well-being. Economists analyze not just the costs, but also the societal benefits, helping policymakers decide whether such programs are feasible. Closing thoughts, seeing the world differently. So, how do economists approach the world? They see every decision, whether it's buying a latte or allocating a national budget, as part of a complex web of scarcity, trade offs, and incentives. They bring a unique lens to global challenges, helping us make smarter choices and build a more equitable world. Thank you for joining me on Log Finance. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share it with others. Next time you face a decision, big or small, try thinking like an economist. Until then, stay curious, stay rational, and keep exploring the fascinating world of economics.